Today's episode is presented by Lodestar, the fee experts.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the summer session of Lodestar's Lending Leaders. Is this our second or third summer session that we've done?
This is our third summer
session.
Our
third summer session. Yeah. So we like to do lighter, shorter topics in the summer session. So we're spending a month talking about The Office. Today is probably one of the subjects I'm most excited about is who would you hire and who would you fire at The Office? Obviously role dependent, but let's see, who we would actually want on our team from The Office staff. Lots of thoughts and feelings. Elena, do you want to start with who you would fire or who you would hire? How about we do this?
Do you want to do department by department and just like call out names?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. I think the most obvious department to start with is sales because we really it's the massive one. It's the people you want to know. But we are going to save some major characters for the end to make sure you have to watch the whole thing.
Okay.
So we'll talk about Jim and Dwight at the end.
Okay.
So I think from the sales department, my obvious hires, I think Stanley's actually a great hire.
I'm Stanley 100%. If I were to hire one salesperson, you would build a company on Stanley's. It's not a common opinion though.
I think he's very reliable. I think he has good relationships. You can see it when he's interacting with his customers in the show.
He's a grinder and he's gone at 5 o'clock and that's fine, right? Like it's, I think he's not going to kill himself over the job despite having a heart attack during an episode, but that wasn't really his fault. I think he's just a really good, solid employee, and you don't have as much of the extra BS as you do with some of the other characters.
Yeah, and I think he's definitely motivated to work and to make money. He seems like someone who is definitely very commission driven.
Yeah,
and someone who, for example, the commission cap, right, would really hurt.
Yeah,
that comes up in later seasons. Yep. And then sitting right across from him is Phyllis. And I think Phyllis is a hard one for me.
I don't have a good sense on, is she a good salesperson? Is she an effective salesperson or not?
I think during the sales blitz, you kind of see herself for one of the only times ever, which is when he goes with Karen, the hair. But like, and that is a type of selling. I think she has some clients for sure, but I don't know that.
I have to see her.
I don't think I would fire her if I inherited her.
We might move her to commission only.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would hire her.
Yeah,
I don't think she'd have a personality in the interview where I'm like, yeah.
Fair enough.
So okay, who do you want to pick next?
I mean, I guess Andy.
I think Andy is terrible at every job he does.
Yeah, we're firing him.
Honestly, sure. I think. Yeah. He just is there probably because he knows somebody.
Yeah. Anger issues, manipulative. Not the
after he punched a wall, like he should have never been able to come back.
No. Does Ryan count as a salesperson or did he jump around a little bit too much?
We can count Ryan as a salesperson.
Yeah, probably also a fire.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like I think I probably would have hired him. Like he does seem like he maybe had a little bit of get up and go, but I also think Michael promoted him because he was weirdly in love with him.
Yeah. And then the whole, like him getting that higher job and going through his old Gordon Gekko phase with everything. And like, And
I think everyone can agree if you embezzle that much money from the company, you should not be hired back.
No, not just at any job, but at that same company.
Yeah.
Too. Okay. Pam, I guess.
Ooh, well, she's a terrible salesperson, but I do think she's a good office manager.
Yeah, I could put her at an ops role. I generally think Pam and Jim are both overrated characters. Personally, sorry, putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of that for sure, but I think she does a good job as office manager, making sure everything's in order. And I do think actually that office probably needs it just with the size.
Yeah.
Because if not, who was ordering the coffee? That's my question.
It's true. I don't know.
And I think for you want to jump over. Well, I guess we'll finish out the sales department. So you kind of alluded to Jim.
Yeah. I think he has a lot of talent and he's definitely someone who could be a great performer, as you see when he like somehow goes into sports marketing successfully later in the series. But it's just he's frustrating, and also I think someone who's like just I don't know the right word, just a pain in the ass, like basically of just like very much lackadaisical, like all of the pranks, all of the jokes, it's just a distraction. Like he's not like.
See, I think I'm the opposite.
Like he should have left that company way before he did. Right?
Oh, 100%.
If you bring him in, challenge him in a different way, and they obviously tried to do that in different ways throughout it. But yeah, sorry. I
think based on the fact that he got away with so much, I think Michael would let anyone get away with anything as a manager. Michael is his own episode.
Yeah.
But I really think that I think Jim has to have had good numbers, right? Like there's a couple points they kind of reference it to, like he hits his commission cap. Him and Dwight have this side person they're funneling all their additional commission to that they've created and stuff like that. So I think there's some of that. Obviously, there's some things that he does that are definitely HR violations and like lightly concerning that Toby does nothing about. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I do think he's really good at bringing the office together. And I think having someone who isn't a leader that can do that is important.
I don't know if he brings the office together. I think they all just kind of find him annoying.
I don't think so, because they have the Office Olympics really early on. Everyone's there for that.
I think they're just there for not working.
Well, there might be that too.
I don't know. I'm not Team Jim. A good Jim name.
I like that we're very split on this. Yeah. And then Dwight.
I think Dwight's the type of person who should run a company, but I do not want to hire for.
I would not want to manage Dwight.
Right? Yeah, like he's very much runs a company because he's not someone who's like a team person necessarily, even though he does wind up as the boss at the end. I feel better about him. I'm kind of in the middle on Dwight.
I think Dwight is definitely a liability. I think he would probably actually interview pretty well. So I'd probably, and like his worth.
If I inherited him as a salesperson, he wouldn't be the first to go. He would. Yeah.
I honestly think
probably commission only.
I honestly don't think there's anyone but Andy, if I inherited the sales department, that I would fire.
We'd have to look at Phyllis's numbers.
We'd have to look at Phyllis's numbers. Yeah. Phyllis's numbers might not be good.
Fair. And not Pam in sales then, or Ryan in sales.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And then I think the other great department to talk about is accounting. I do think Dwight made the right choice by firing Kevin.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
I agree.
But
Oscar seems effective. Angela seems in the middle.
I honestly probably think they just needed an accounts payable and accounts receivable person. They could have two.
They don't need a 3-person accounting department in that office.
Yeah, I think 2-person would be totally fine. Yeah. And I think Angela's probably pretty good at her job too. Yeah. And you know. But there's Creed and there's Meredith. I don't think either of them I would even like.
What is Meredith also quality control? Or is she
Meredith?
Oh no, she's sale. I don't know.
She is vendor relations.
Oh, okay.
Is what she is, because that's how she gets the discount on paper. And they're not in a position to turn down a discount on paper.
I like Meredith as a character. Creed, I think he has to go for sure. I don't really know what exactly he does.
He's supposed to be like
quality control,
and he does a terrible job. As he should have gotten fired after the Donald Duck incident. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Meredith is maybe 50-50. There's some ethical concerns there. And I think Kelly probably does an okay job with customer service.
Yeah.
She seems like she's got the right personality for it. It seems like she's really organized in the few episodes that we see her actually do her job. That
she has the personality you kind of want for dealing with folks in that position.
Yeah. So. And then Toby, I think. I don't know if we can count him. But I think Toby's actually probably a terrible HR rep.
Great character. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't I think if you are an HR rep, you hate Toby as a character.
Yeah, so, he lets everyone get away with after Diversity Day, he should have been raising so many red flags to corporate. Like
he prevents Dwight from bringing in some weapons at least. But yeah, I mean, that whole office is a walking HR violation. So
it is so many lawsuits waiting to happen, honestly.
Seems like Holly does a much better job when she comes in. So she
might just be better at reining in Michael, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of Michael, we're going to talk about him in our next episode.
Yeah, I know we left out some of the newer episode characters, but
I have been told, I was told a lot in my early 20s, I look like Aaron from The Office.
Okay.
That was like a person that I got.
Yeah. Oh, Robert California, effective manager.
I don't know.
Yeah,
he terrifies me a little bit.
David Wallace probably doesn't do that well either as an exec.
I don't think David Wallace is a great exec. Jan's crazy.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Honestly, I don't think there's any. I think the only one who was like actually probably effective was Joan was her name, I think. The blonde woman with the giant dogs.
Oh, Kathy Bates. Yeah.
Yes.
She's fantastic. Yeah.
She seems like she actually has it together, could actually improve the company, introduces new product lines. Like, hey guys, you should sell printers too, right? Like, but everyone else there, I feel like is just kind of this caricature of what a manager should be.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. That's it. And then next week we'll talk about Michael Scott.
Yes.
Or Michael Scarn. You want to outro us, Jim?
Yep. Thanks for listening to Lodestar's Lending Leaders. If you made it this far, and we will be talking later. Also, if you have any thoughts and feelings about The Office throughout the month, please message us, hit us up. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks guys so much. And we'll talk to you next week.
Great.
Thank you for listening to Lodestar's Lending Leaders. Please like, subscribe, and rate us 5 stars anywhere you get your podcasts. I'd like to give a special thank you to the Lodestar team involved with the production of this podcast, including Elena Gardner, Tim Austin, and John Gardner.